O comboio Alfa CP Comboios de Portugal, procedente de Lisboa-Santa Apolónia e com destino a Braga, que deverá dar entrada na linha número 1. Circula com um atraso de 5 minutos. A sua hora prevista de chegada é às 16 horas e 15 minutos. Pedimos a vossa compreensão pelos incómodos causados. Dentro de minutos, dará entrada na linha número 1. O comboio.
Entrevista do Darwin Nunes é o que abriu o marcador. Os adeptos acreditam. A luz pode explodir outra vez. E a luz e hoje quem vai gritar o golo? Se a bola entrar, vão ser os adeptos. Eu depois vou acompanhar. Ai, ele vai atirar, ele vai atirar, ele vai atirar, ele vai atirar.
Hey guys, another edition of Benfica After 90. Here we are. What an absolute crapshoot. And I'm kind of lost for words for 2 seconds, but I got a lot to say at the same time. So I don't even know how you guys want to kick this off. Do you want to just kick it off with the lineup? Do you want to just say how terrible everything is? Well, what's the preference here? What's the best way you love your pain? And by the way, thank you for joining us for the chat and everyone else ready for this kind of what we call social therapy, you know what I mean? When a gente trabalha juntos to deal with our mental illnesses.
Mario, real quick, I used to love that entrance video, right? Because it used to make me so happy and put a smile on my face and like pumped up, right? Now it just makes me so sad, man. So sad. Like I'm listening to that and I'm like, I thought this was the year. I thought last year was the year. I thought 2 years ago was the year. Like next year, I'm gonna be tricked into loving this team again. Right, because it's the same thing. Not even loving this team. You always love them.
It's
believing in them.
I get you. Every single time. I was talking to someone before this match kicked off saying, you know what? After everything happened this week, they got me again. I'm feeling like, you know what? Maybe we're going to do it. Maybe it's going to happen. Like one thing that like drives me nuts is this was seen years ago what these players revolting on Rui Vitória and Lucio Vieira mismanaging this club and lack of direction from the top down. And letting the goddamn monkeys run the circus. And it progressed into Lage, and it progressed into Jorge Jesus. It's a complete dysfunctional organization. We all said Jorge Jesus needed to go because he was just not doing the right things. But it's top down. And if these players want to say, I refuse to train, I don't want to play, and they don't want to put any heart into the game, to the point where they force the manager out, like, don't get me wrong, that guy needed to go, but not that way. But at the same time, he's gone. So if you're going to do this, you better show up. And it kind of ticks me off that we start off this match, and these guys did kind of show up. These guys actually did have some fight in them. And the most frustrating thing about today is there's the goddamn goal that we'll have a nice debate on what the heck a handball is, because I didn't know the fucking elbow and bicep counts as your shoulder nowadays because the new rules are some kind of retarded idea. Almeida getting the guy. Almost all these chances and goals, a very large portion of them came from Almeida's end. He doesn't belong on this goddamn team. I'm sick of this guy. The second yellow was BS. It's these kind of controversial kind of situations where I'm like, I'm frustrated with these guys. Yet at the same time, the league is like, oh, let's pounce on them. You know, they're hurt right now. They're a wounded animal. Let's go and screw them.
I actually wouldn't say that the second yellow wasn't just because like Almeida was running. And here's the thing. We're going to get into the whole analysis, but just really quickly on like what happened, right? Like gut reaction. It seemed like, but coming into this game, I said it on the last podcast. I said it after the last fourth game, right? I never believed that Benfica had the chance to win this game, but that changed after the first 15 minutes. I thought that we would have a chance to, maybe sneak one in and then just defend really well because I thought we looked decent. We were much more attacking than we typically are, right? So, than I was expecting us to be, rather. So the fact that we were just even attacking like that, I was like, okay, maybe we can sneak one in and see what happens. But really, that all changed really quickly, and it seemed like they just had more chances throughout the whole game. And for me, like we're talking about the first goal, right? The goal from Fabio Vieira, it's a franc too. So like it is a handball, yes, and I think that it's ridiculous that they didn't look at it more. It's a franc. And Odysseus picked the worst game to not have a good game today. This was the worst game of his season by far.
We shot on late. We shot on late and said, okay, I don't want to see him put Odie in net. I don't want to see late again. Then this guy goes, hey, give me some pointers. How did I go and fuck this up? You did so good. Could I not do it? It's so frustrating in a sense, how like a collective failure across the board.
Because well, go ahead, Luis.
Me?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say something.
No, you carry on, mate.
The thing for me is like, look, I would love to blame Almeida because also on the second yellow, right? The first yellow he gets, there's no arguments about that. It was kind of whatever, tough foul, but it's a yellow.
It was also kind of a
Mario.
Stupid,
he can't settle the damn ball.
Yeah.
You can't settle the damn ball. You should not be a professional footballer if you put yourself in that type of situation. I know this is just preaching to the choir, right? We all think he should retire. We all think he's not Benfica quality, right? This guy, though, we cannot talk about. This is one of the things in general with like Benfica Nation, right? The Familia Benfiquista and everything that does upset me is that a game like today, right? Like that, we should complain about the refs for certain things. I think that first goal needed to be looked at longer, and I have my doubts. I thought that the Pepe goal that they annulled was this very similar situation to Darwin. I think that this was closer, and I thought Darwin was closer to being onside, but whatever, right? I thought this one was probably a better call in that respect. But the thing is, like, Andre Almeida, he should have gotten sent off. It was his fault, and then I hate at the end him going like this to the Porto fans. You don't care about that badge. If you cared about the badge, you wouldn't have done that. You would have just been better all game and all season. Like, I hate this. And the thing is, and then Benfica, all the Benfiquistas get riled up like, oh yeah, like tell the Porks and everything like that. No, Almeida lost us the game. Here's the thing. Almeida lost us the game in the respect that at that point, the team I thought had no hope. But really, we started playing better afterwards. It seemed like the whole second half we were just playing well, right? And then, but we had no chance because what happens? The game gets sealed with a 3-1, which is whose fault? I'll put it on Odie. Because here's the thing. Gilberto comes flying out, but that is what it is. Weigl didn't look great there. Vertonghen tries, but it goes, man, it's going through your legs. Like, great play by Taremi, too. We kind of faked out Morata on that play. But it's our fault. Today's loss is not on any referee. That's why we can talk about, like, the first goal, right? Because it did kind of change up the game. But at the end of the day, 2 francs and 2 yellow cards. But correctly given to Almeida.
Yeah, but both these stupid yellows at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they were stupid.
So I'm going to get Luis in just 2 seconds. Greg wanted to join us. Got him in here. He's going to join us. But Luis, you get some thoughts in here, buddy.
I start by saying hello to Greg that just hopped in.
Of course.
And I'll just say, look, I wasn't surprised with the 4-4-2. I sort of expected it. I was surprised to see Andre Almeida on the left. I was surprised with a few of the players. I know that we because of certain injuries and COVID and stuff, Grimaldo's out, Darwin's out, and stuff like that. I know we're going to get into the starting 11 and all of that stuff, but I think honestly, if I'm trying to be like positive, there was nothing to be positive about. Like I've tried to look at that game in a different way. Like, what's that to pick up from this game and think, all right, we can move forward from this and build on this? Nothing. You have Odie that looked like Helton today. You have Andrea that I don't need to say anything about. Morata is definitely not much fit. Vertonghen is way too old.
Vertonghen was thrown up on the pitch.
Yeah. You have Pizzi that looked tired 2 minutes after he came on. If I was to be like really like trying to find something positive, Everton looked to be a little bit more out of his, like, he looked to at least he had something there, if that makes sense. Like with JJ, I almost felt like, oh, he's gone. Like, what's this? Today it looked like he wanted to create something. And Gilberto has been Gilberto like that for quite a while now. We know what to expect from him. It's good to see. But yeah, going to the game, I think I think the moment of the game, and it's a shame that it comes down to this, but it's that first goal because it was obviously 11v11. The game was, pretty tight at that time. I thought, okay, we're not doing badly. We're not dominating the game, but we look all right. We look all right. And then all of a sudden you're down 1-0, and you think, oh, that's all right. VAR's gonna obviously rule it. VAR's definitely gonna have a look at this, and they're not gonna give it. And then he gives it, and this is when you have to ask the question: well, what's the point then? Like, if you have all these cameras and stuff, and like you still can't see that, then I remember like a year before VAR was a thing. I've always said I want VAR to be a thing. I want VAR to come on and be a reality. Until the day that it's clear that it's an offside or a foul or a penalty, and VAR doesn't give it. That day, it's when you think, "Fuck, what's the point then?" And by the way, this is not today. This has happened a long time ago, but it happened again. Like, you can see it. Everybody saw it. We all saw it. Like, all of Twitter saw it, and they're gonna see it now. They're going to analyze it. And they're gonna be like, "Oh, and then they're gonna say, well, to be honest, they scored twice after that." And they were, "Yeah, no, I know. But that time, that's the break. That's how you turn your mentality." And then the second goal I give him, I think the second goal is a decent play.
We're sleeping.
Yeah,
you have Weigl, Gilbert, and
everybody's sleeping.
All three guys there, and just when they don't understand. Hey, look, as a defender, right? Even us. I know it's easier said than done, but there's a guy on the byline who's about to put in a cross. I'm not even close to marking anyone. Wait, why am I not marking anyone? Right? Like the marking there was piss poor, but it was a good play to get them there. But it's just. You can't. They fell asleep, is what it is, Luis. And I think you're right. It was caused by the first goal.
Exactly, but I think that's what happened. You can see that goal.
But that can't happen. That can't happen.
Exactly. You come back from you just lost at the Dragão, and I think as a player, you're on a pitch. You come on and you feel like you can do something with this. You think, all right, okay, it's 0-0. We're definitely better than last game a few days ago. Let's build on this. And just as it looks like we're building something, you can see the goal to a handball. And everybody knew, because as soon as he plays the ball, 4 players go like that. So the players are sure that's a handball. So as a fan, we're there thinking, what the fuck is going on? As a player, you think, well, what's the point then? Because that's a handball.
I saw Weigl, like you said, he stopped on that play. Like you see him like running, and then he kind of does one of these, right?
Because he knows. He knows.
But the thing is,
Germany, that's it. Done.
But you can't stop. You have to play for the whistle. Play for the whistle. You know what I mean?
But even then, okay, they played through the whistle. The shot was right between Odie's legs.
Odie wasn't very good either today. And,
that's what. Yeah, sorry, Greg. I'll let you kind of go and give your quick.
Let me do this. Let me get the 11 out, and we'll get Greg in. How about that?
Can we do it like in high school hockey, where every time they say a name, we just go shit after?
Okay, I say the name, you say the shit. Ready? It's good. There we go. Ready? You got to unmute when I do it. Here we go.
Or we'll go.
All right, today for our starting 11, in the back of the net we had Odysseus.
Trash.
Gilberto.
Trash though.
Marat.
Not great.
Vertonghen.
Literally threw up on the field.
Almeida.
I'm not even going to use my breath.
Weigl.
Meh.
João Mario.
Defensively good, offensively meh.
Everton.
Better than I expected, but not saying much.
Rafa.
Did he play the first half? Was he in the starting lineup?
Chuck.
Scored, but
did his job.
Yeah. And Ramos.
Ramos first half. I think him and Rafa were playing footsies in the dressing room or something, because he wasn't on the field either.
Yeah, man. This was our lineup for today. Greg, when you saw the 4-4-2 back, what did you think of that? And then just a second question to add as you kind of go on your thoughts. Comparing today versus last week, how do you feel?
Well, to start off with that second question, I mean, I feel like we definitely came with like a lot more, forcefulness, like a lot more head on, which I mean, obviously last week was unheard of. The lineup I liked, I mean, like I mentioned before on the show, like a few months back, I mean, I'm more of a traditionalist with the 4-4-2 lineup. I think with that being said, we were just looking for like a tie, which I know, you, me, Mario were talking earlier. I mean, we'll take a tie any day right now compared to last week. But I mean, you know, when you're going to go into that kind of hostility and like that kind of environment that, you know, the fans are choking on you. I mean, obviously we can hear our fans up above like the 200s, but I mean, what can you say? I mean, you kind of had to see this coming in the long run. I mean, new coach in like 3 days ago, you know, after like that whole catastrophe with the training session, I just was hoping for anything. I wasn't hoping just for like a battering. I was happy with the goal. Like kind of like Joe said, you know, we were kind of connecting, which was great to see. I think Ramos was like really showing, you know, some kind of technique of just trying to keep possession. Other than that,
man, he had that one play in the first where he like fell over himself dribbling, and it just pissed me off. And Rafa too. I'm glad Miguel brings it up because Miguel was talking about it on Twitter too, right? And the thing is with Rafa, the goal that happened and the play that, you know, ended up with it was Zaidu that kind of cleared it off the line from Gosal, right? It was just Rafa taking the ball and running at the defenders. The first half, I was so livid because it was just like all of last match where Rafa just wouldn't do anything. Rafa didn't even know that there was a game in the first half.
Oh, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah,
it's so frustrating because there are guys, right? There are guys on this team, when they don't perform, we get upset. And that makes total sense, right? Because whatever. But there are guys that you expect or that you need to perform, right? Rafa's one of those guys because he could have a terrible game. He's always going to be faster than the guy on the other team, right? He could have a terrible touch. He's still going to be able to run by people. And that's not an excuse not to try.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Joe, but no, that's been our problem this whole season. Every team knows, shut off Rafa, we're useless. Yeah. And that showed it last week. Thankfully, they didn't do it as much today. But I mean, without Rafa, you know, just connecting with Grimaldo, obviously he wasn't there today. But it's like, without him, we're finished. And I mean, I don't know like why other teams in the league don't like understand. It's like you stop Rafa and like, you know, Joao Mario and Grimaldo. It's like it's going to be a win for you.
Something else. I'm glad you brought this up, Mario. The back line, real quick. Can anyone tell me what's going on with Port's back line right there? Just assume, you know, we're in the 60th minute. What's up with that? What's the one thing that sticks out?
The card, Cardozo.
The card. Rafa Silva, the second a team's defender has a card, should be running at that defender the whole game. They will get sent off. I do not know why that is not a strat. Listen, that's a sad strategy, but that's also smart because I'm not asking for Rafa to dive because he won't need to. They will have to grab him back or suffer a goal. That card, like that could have changed the game. It infuriates me because when you're looking at that happened in the 30th minute too.
I don't know why I haven't seen that yet. Pizzy dent.
The Pizzy dent, yeah.
Fucking
Pizzy poor.
Pizzy merda. Oh god, this guy here, a 5.5 on SofaScore, even less on Goal Point. You know, the whole irony of the situation where Pizzy Almeida, and it's the whole kind of saying how these guys band together to get George Juju. You better, you know, show up or shut up is kind of the situation when you do something like this. And I do feel that there's a lot of issues at the club. It isn't just George Juju being out. I do not expect in 3 days magic to happen either. You kind of hope for it as a fan, right? It's unacceptable. Well, but to me, it's still the fact that this club needs to send a damn message in the January window, in my opinion. And I know it might not help us, but get rid of some of these guys. Get rid of one. I don't see how they go, you are our captain, after you turned your back on Rui Vitória, you turned your back on Bruno Lage, you turned your back on Jorge Jesus, and you're not showing up. Like, and it drives me nuts. And Pizzy comes on, and someone made a comment. At one point, he looked like he was tired. It was only on for 15 minutes.
Mario, he's without a doubt the slowest player in the Primeira Liga, and Rafa's the fastest, and they came off at the same time. When you're down a man, so let's do the math here. What's your best chance of scoring? A counterattack.
Yeah.
Pizzy, every single time there's a counterattack, it is the same thing. Same thing. He tries to just wait until someone's near the back post and put it across and hope to God it hits someone and goes in. That's his only strategy. He can't take anyone on. Did you see him try to go around Zaidu Sanusi, who literally was sold from Santa Clara because of his speed? That guy, that is an insult. I would have laughed if I was Zaidu. I would have laughed in his face, been pointing at Pizzy, and be like, this guy tried to run around me. This guy. Pizzy couldn't be Almeida when he was on crutches. I'm just so done. And don't get me wrong, this isn't just a today thing. I just think it's so sad, and some people have probably been mentioning it in the comments. I haven't really been looking. But Paulo Bernard on the bench. You see him right away. one of the only ones without his mask, right? So you can see his true frustration when they go down 2-0. He's talking right away, right, with Fer, and he's probably talking about his frustrations. You could see him looking at the pitch and talking. Peasy's sitting there like this. Diogo Gonçalves looks to him. He's like, "Can I borrow a cigarette at halftime?" All right, because they're buddy, right? The two of them, Grimaldo, Almeida, Rafa. They're all that people. Anyone that puts Rafa, Andre Almeida, Pizzi, and Grimaldo in the same boat has to put Diogo Gonçalves because they're always buddy. Every training thing, every Instagram post, they're always talking to each other. He's just as toxic. As toxic. And I love Diogo for that one free kick against Arsenal. But guess what? It didn't do anything in hindsight. And when it comes down to is you have a guy, like, to get back to my original point, Paulo Bernard on the bench. And I can't really fault the Pizzi coming on, Taarabt coming on, because he's been pretty great in his last couple appearances. And today I thought he looked decent as well, except for
he was the only one that could push up the ball.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah, but Paulo Bernard not coming on is just a slap in the face to him. When who's the best player on Port today, and last game, and the game before that Port played? Vitinha.
Yeah.
And the closest thing you have to a Vitinha on your team right now, in terms of being a guy from the youth academy that's in center midfield, is Paulo Bernard. So it just makes no sense. It makes no sense, guys.
Well, I mean, the issue is then, and kind of going back to what you were saying, Mario, it's like, okay, are we actually going to spend, is it even like worth it to spend money bringing players in, getting these guys out now, then, the possibility of bringing a new coach over the summer, then having like this whole, mishap of, having large guys with JJ.
To me, it's there's a clear toxic element that is very publicized, very public. It is a core group of guys that have caused nothing but problems for this club ever since we won the Tetra. It went to their head. There's a certain level of godlike mentality. Pizzi was getting MVPs. Jonas was kicking butt. These guys, Almeida at the time was, he won all these, championships.
Every player has a time. We can't fall like listen.
No, they had these moments. They had this moment, but the thing is, as soon as we lost some key pieces, and those guys needed to step up, they didn't. And if anything, they actually doubled down, and they purposely lost games under Rui Vitória at the end. They were making zero effort. And then as soon as Lage came on, they worked their butts off as if it was a miracle, like they drank holy water. And the thing that irritates me today is comparing the two games, if you ask yourself honestly, was today better than last Thursday? It was. Yeah. We played harder. We played faster. We brought the game to Port. A bit of bad luck, and if we got some good luck in the way, even when we're down 10 men, Porto went down to 10 men, and Porto looked better than us. Mm-hmm. We went down 10 men, and we were actually putting up a fight. If last week it was the other way around where we went down 10 men and Porto was 11, it would have been an 8-0 trashing. These guys did not get the result today, but the effort they put in, it's like what? Veríssimo did nothing. He was there 2 days, max. His mother just passed away. They did a running session for the cameras to show, look, don't worry, we got this. Get the cameraman out, do a photo op, and he went out and did what he had to do, which is take care of his family. So this was all on these players, and these players had it in them, and they chose to not put in the effort in the Taça. It is a rotten mentality. They got to get them out of this club ASAP. And I don't care. Like, we got Bernard, we got kids on the B team, but I don't even care if they end up selling Rafa either. I like Rafa, but if he's identified as part of that group, they basically need to go, okay, who doesn't want to be here? And not even ask, just kick out Almeida, kick out Pizzi. Who doesn't like it, you get out too. And I don't care if we sell them at a loss. I just don't care the financial aspect of it. We can never rebuild this squad with a new manager. With these guys acting like they own the club, they run the locker room. New signings that come on, they'll be very quickly told who's in charge. And it's a joke. It's a complete utter joke.
And this is, want to see a joke, is this from a Port fan, right? That's when you know. And like, he's 100% right. I mean, I put out the stats before the game now. We now, like this after this game, in our last 21 games against Port, back to the 2011-2012 season, 4 wins, 4 draws, 9 losses.
It's brutal, absolutely brutal, and it's a case where you, as a president now, this is Rui Costa's chance, because he can. I know he was part of the, the directors. He was part of the organization, Luis Vieira. This is one window to say, well, I wasn't me pulling the strings last time. He has to do something. If he does nothing in January, which I got a gut feeling, this is the part where I'm upset, is in my heart of hearts, I honestly think nothing's going to happen. In my heart of hearts, I think we're going to go sign a guy from Liga NOS. Now we tried, was it Pinho or the guy we signed from Marítimo, right? And we couldn't even get him in time, but it's going to be some kind of lame-ass signing that we truly aren't even going to use or feel, just to kind of say we did something, like a token to the fans. That's it, man.
This was fun. The thing is, to me, and like, there's a lot of people talking like, I'm not going to act like Paulo Bernardo is the savior, but that's not what I'm saying, and he's not. I'll tell you that right now. If he is, then I'm wrong. I think he has a lot of quality, and I think one day he'll be a core piece of this team. But it's the top-down mentality that we always talk about not playing the youth, right? Like, I think today, I truly think, just like JJ's last game for Benfica was Sporting, I think today should be Pizzi's last game for Benfica. I truly believe that. Andre Almeida, I mean, I think that too, right? But I don't think you're going to get rid of both of them. And I think with the Verissimo injury, actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I think you could get rid of both of them as long as you have a healthy. No, I'm saying I think you can. You obviously can. I'm saying what I think the coach will do, right? Just trying to be somewhat realistic about it. Because let's be real. They do have like these vacas sagradas and everything that they just can't take away from the top down.
They got to make some Alcantara.
Yeah, exactly.
They got to slow cook those buggers.
Listen, the thing to me is if you go to a 4-4-3, or excuse me, 4-4-3, you would be a man up and you'd still play like you have a man down, right? If you play in a 4-3-3, which is Verissimo style, the academy style, I don't want to say anything on Verissimo yet because this was a tough week. I think even with JJ, this game was lost long ago.
Yeah, like I'm not going to put any outside of substitutions. Substitutions are rough. But I do want to give the man a chance a little bit. But I kind of get where you're going. Where if you play with two center backs, and because we got Grimaldo and we got a million right backs, with
we don't need Almeida. You cannot have Jan Vertonghen, and if you're playing with four in the back, you cannot have him as a center back. I love Jan. Look, I'm sure there's a way that you can fit him in, but the guy, I'm not saying just because he was gassed and threw up, right? Like that just happens. Maybe he ate some bad bacalhau or something before the game, but he was just gassed. Otamendi, can play. You can play one at the back. You can play 8 at the back. Otamendi is always going to be good. Like he's solid there. You just need to really see if Murat or Tomás Araujo are the right choice. Today, I'll say it. I loved Murat for the most part. Did you guys notice too? Every time a ball is up in the air for a header, it falls at our feet because he places where he heads the ball. He has the presence of mind to know, hey, I'm not just going to be an idiot and hit it out. Yeah. Right? He's going to be like, oh, there's Weigl there. Before the ball comes in, boom, Weigl's feet, counterattack. Like, so intelligent. I'm not saying Tomás Araujo isn't either because he's very good with the ball at his feet. And Murat made some mistakes today. But this kid, man, I liked what I saw. And I think that you're going to see more of him. And you should see more of him.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I forgot. I was going to say something. I forgot.
Muratu, heading, intelligence.
No, it was, I don't know, whatever. Okay, we'll move on to Greg.
I mean, Joe kind of hit the nail on the head, really. I mean, what can you really say? I mean, I am impressed with Muratu's performance. I think he really showed. And it's kind of like I always mention in the comments, we need a bulldog kind of mentality. Steal your lunch, take your girl like right from you. So, I mean, for me, I think Vertonghen's just too weak. And it's like I mentioned in the last pod, if anyone remembers, I just said that he brings like that Tottenham mentality. I just don't think, he just really has, the Ginga for us.
I love him, but
I just don't see.
It's the same. You want to like him because you could tell he's such a professional, such a good guy. But like, hey man, it's not here. Just go back to not Ajax, but like Antwerp.
Just go back to Belgium. Go back to Ghent.
Go somewhere in Belgium, retire, and like become a coach.
There's this is the bias of the Shishal and the bias of liking the kids. I like Murat. I like what he does. There's good things about him, but he had some stinkers today, like Boris. There's that, but the other one was
the third goal though. Not
the third goal, but right before the third. I think it was right before the third goal. I think when we were still down 2-0, or we were already down 3-0.
2-1 was when the
2-1, and then it was Murat at one point. It was him and Vertonghen. Murat had the ball. There's 2 Porto guys, and he tried to run in between both of them.
Yeah,
and it became a 2-on-1. Good defending from there on in with Jan Vertonghen and how he handled it.
But no, it was Murata that saved it. Murata saved it.
Yeah, but Murata then came back. Yeah, but the thing is, there's still. I think the challenge is there's still some youth and inexperience. I have the hope, just like Ruben Diaz did mistakes like that, because Ruben Diaz had a lot of stinkers also.
Yeah.
I have the hope of Murata because there's positives I've seen that he can get better. when I look at Almeida, he is who he is. He will only get worse. He will not
Even
improve.
Vertonghen,
same thing. He is who he is. I bless his heart, bless his efforts, but at the same time, it doesn't fit the system right now. There's certain guys, if you look at Pizzi, MVP Pizzi, I loved when you were at that stage. I really did love that guy for a while. I'm sorry, not anymore. You can't offer much for the squad. I'd rather a young guy that will make a mistake but has the potential to learn from that mistake and the next game get better versus a guy that's going to do the same mistake week in and week out. Yeah. And I feel that's kind of what we're stuck with some of these old dogs in a sense that just act like they're entitled to be there.
To me, like Taarabt was always a part of that group for me. I know Luis loves him and a lot of people rate him because, like, let's be real. The streets will never forget, right? Like, we'll always say that because it's true.
You know what, Joe? I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. But you know what? I mean, those streets probably have like potholes and cracks in them that have to be repaved. Because I mean, at this stage,
no, but that's the thing, right? People always say that, but the thing is, for me, he was absolutely terrible all season. But the last 5 games, Greg, and I know you agree, like that's a generalization, right? That he's trash. But the last 5 games have been better. So, like right now, if you're going to bring on a sub and it's not going to be Paulo Bernard, I'm going to say, okay, bring on Taarabt because I don't want it to be Mete. He doesn't deserve it. I don't want it to be Pizzi. I don't even want it to be, I'm sorry, but like Seth in a game like this when you're down looks like he's lost. And I shouldn't say
right after that France game in the Euros.
Yeah. Like, listen, he did help us get to the round of 16 with Port, saving our asses against Pass, right, in the Tassa. But still, like, today, man, it's so frustrating because you look at the changes, right, that he made, and you try to just think of, like, organizationally what's going on. It's like, there's nothing to do because you look at the bench. I want you guys to go look at Sporting's bench from last game. I bet not one of those kids on the bench could grow facial hair. That's like, it's insane. And then you look at us, and they got hair coming out of their heads and everything. That's how old they are, right? And it's so frustrating because this team needs a top-down change, like we always say, right? That's going to come culturally, and I think some of these guys need to be told in January. I don't know if we're going to sell people, right? I think the Pizzi, Andre Almeida, I don't think it would work with Rafa, unfortunately. I think there are certain guys who should be told, hey, guys, listen, we're going to start playing the kids. Start talking to clubs because we want to get rid of you in the summer. So, take this time now to talk with your agents. If you want to stay, show us that.
I honestly, if I was Rui Costa after what happened and after this performance today, the order of operations, you guys refused to play. You refused to train and play. You wanted the manager out. Then today you do this shit show. Almeida, you get the Gabriel treatment. Delete his picture off the goddamn website. Don't send him to the B team. Don't send him anything.
Saudi Arabia.
Here's your bags. Go home, and let us know if you want to play in Saudi Arabia or somewhere else. We obviously don't care. Just don't ever come back here again. And if for some reason you find yourself on a plane, drop us a postcard so you can make sure we kind of change your address. But that's it. Vai pra casa. Don't come back again. They need to do some kind of message because that's our captain. That's the captain that kind of like, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. And there was even the thing that I didn't like was that clip of the Peel Hour cheer that George Ruger's gone. And again, I wanted him gone, but it had to be from the president. It had to be the club doing it. And there's these fans cheering, and you see Pizzi, and then they look over the fans and they give him the thumbs up because they're chanting, "Oh, boa, and they look at him like, "Yeah, I did it. It's like, what the heck is this? Like, this is not how you act as a professional. That is not it's insane. You don't see players acting like that in general. They think they are untouchable, and it's absolutely frustrating beyond no means.
I was just checking the contracts for both Pizzi and Almeida, and it's like June 2023, and it's just like, damn.
Well, it's funny too because Vertonghen and Otamendi, their contract runs up next year too. So it's like, okay, we're gonna be out 2 center backs, but I mean, also kind of with what you were saying, Luis, it's like, at least those 2 are going to be gone. But it's like, I don't know. I just don't see any progress with it.
The thing is, it's kind of like when you look at the B team, right? Because I think what's gonna happen, unfortunately, like for better for worse, or not even just for better for worse, I don't think we should be spending money, right? Like if you told me that there was a world-class talent in Brazil or in Colombia or maybe in like Belgium or something, at Salzburg, maybe even, right? If you told me that we could get him for like, okay, like he's going to be the best player in the world one day, you can get him for 15 million, I'd say no. No, you know why? Because this team, the club doesn't deserve to buy people and try to use that as an excuse. Because essentially every time they buy a player, they're buying themselves time to be like, oh, well, he takes time to adapt. Look at, this guy, look at that guy, even look at Gilbert. Everyone wanted him gone in the summer, came back, he's a different player. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's a different league. He doesn't know the language. All these different excuses, man. I'm sick of it. Because you have a full roster of guys on the B team that all speak the language, that all know the team values. Did you see Paul Bernard? There were two players, or I'll say two. Gilberto, obviously, like no one's gonna doubt that he has a lot of heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just through and through chasud. Like he's the type of guy that is always gonna fight till the end. But technically, tactically, just like his, sometimes his presence of mind isn't there. That's okay. You're not expecting that from him. Right? It really isn't okay because you need a true right back for Benfica, but we have the team that we have, and he's better than I'll talk right now on Lazaro. Lazaro, he went forward today with the ball for the first time of his career because Port pretty much forced him forward. Every single time the guy gets the ball, I commented on it against Bayern Munich. He gets the ball back there. His first look always, he could get the ball, no one in front of him, right back to Odie. Or right back to the center back near him. And it pisses me off. You need to have some sort of especially situationally, don't you know that you need to go forward?
This is where when Grimaldo's on his A game. This is why he's such a stud for us when he's on his A. He can push the ball forward. Even Gilberto, you know what I mean? Like when he's on his A,
he'll try.
He'll push it forward. I look out, there's a comment made about the idea of, dump the dead weight, bring the youth, just use this as not training, but to kind of build up a squad. And I don't want to say the season is lost, but 7 points back is really goddamn tough. And the biggest difference was last year when we were in third place and struggling. It was like Benfica and Braga for fourth place, and we were below fourth. Like we were not in third place. It was just back and forth for a bit. We could have dropped down to Europa. I think the gap is big enough that I don't think Braga is going to catch up on us. I think they're not having that great of a season. And I really don't think we have the cojones to catch up to the top two, to be honest. I think third place is where we're going to live for the rest of the season. And there's going to be this awkward gap between the two fighting for the title and those guys fighting for the Europa. So bring in the kids and create some competition and just get these guys fighting and get rid of, Pizzi, Almeida, and the trash out there because they're going to do nothing. It's like there's lots of time to actually win a title. I don't want to say the title's over. But I just feel this current setup, this current squad, and in a sense, they gave up the same group of people. We were back a bunch of points, gave up on Rui Vitória, chose to lose games, and then we went and won the title because they can put the effort in. But it almost irks me because I'm like, this is not how you're supposed to run an organization. This is not how you should not be rewarded for this, commended for this. I don't like the celebrating of I really got ticked off. Now again, so it was like 5-6 fans cheering for Pizzi doing it outside the bus. But it's that kind of mentality. It's reinforcing who's running the roost. And I don't know, man, either Rui Costa does something or he's a lame duck. And I think you're going to see the pressures for something else to happen. But I can't see another election happening anytime soon. But I think the fan base is very much like a tinder pot ready to explode, right?
I think for me, the thing I will just say in terms of the league, right? The league's done. I would say that. I would put I like to think of things as a Benfica, but then as like a realist, right? Like if someone put gun to my head or, all my life savings had to go on this, this take, so to speak, the league's done.
Oh, yeah, I would not put any money on it. Yeah. I would not put any money on it.
I would say if they told me like, hey, listen, like you got to choose or else, they're going to go crazy on you or something like that. I just think that this team doesn't have it, one, right? But two, the teams that are in first place are not Port from 2018-19. Not to take anything away from that team, because they had Eder Militão on the bench, they had Pep, they had Danilo, they had Herrera still, they had Oliver Torres again. They had like Atletico Madrid, pretty much at their club, right? So like it wasn't like that there was a talent shortage at Port, but the thing is, these teams have not lost yet. Port is undefeated, Sporting's undefeated in the league, and the thing is, they already played each other once. So now, in order for you to climb back, hypothetically, you need to beat Sporting, you need to beat Port on the second legs, right? So you'll play Sporting away and Port home. Okay? Just if let's say hypothetically you win and they win out all their games, you still lose the league by a point. So you still need them to drop other games and to not drop any games yourself, which you're not going to do. Because I'm sorry, Braga, Braga 6-0 today against Oroca, playing with Vitinha, who if he gets hot, he's going to get probably sold to a big club in the summer, right? But he played unreal. Carvalhal, when he's feeling confident, plays well. He has these little, kind of ruts here and there. But in general, the league is done. Unfortunately, the reality is this. You have the semifinals of the Taça de Liga against
That's the best you can get, man.
Petit and Boavista. If you win that, you have a final against Sporting, which I don't care if they call it Taça de Carioca, Taça de Cerveja, Taça de whatever. It's a Taça against your biggest rival. So a win in the defending champions. So a win is massive for morale and just in general, right? I'm not going to celebrate the season and say it was a success, but I will be happy that night.
To get something. You want to get something.
I want to win. If we're in a competition, I want to win. I don't care. International Champions Cup, we're still the defending champs.
Yes.
I'll hold that.
Yeah, there's also the even last year. Trash. Second last game of the season against Sporting. They're invincibles. We took that from them. We didn't win nothing, but you want to still have some badge of pride to say, listen, we're not going to let you take everything. Like if Sporting's on the verge of winning a Taça Liga and we snag it on them, they're going to be like, who cares, Taça Liga? It's like, you know what? It's not yours. Because at least we can play spoiler.
It's a stupid thing to say, right? But when it comes to just the banter side of things,
you want something.
You lost the final to us. Then we go against Ajax. It's stupid again, but you don't lose on aggregate 9 to whatever it was, like 9-2, 9-3, whatever. You win, right? So to me, the season seriously, you have a couple things to play for. You need to fight for second place because it could be, Port does have such a weak squad, but I get nervous seeing these young kids come up because I think the young kids have a lot of talent. João Mario right back, Fabio Vieira up top. Obviously, Vitinha in the midfield is probably their best player right now at his age. Diogo Costa in the net. So, these young kids are going to be there to stay. They're going to fight, tooth and nail to win games for Port. Sporting isn't selling anybody, so you're not going to have a miracle happen there where they lose players. So the fact of the matter is you have to fight, hope that you can get second. If not, it was JJ's fault because you were in third when Verissimo took over, right? Mm-hmm. And then you need to try to win the only competitions you're in, which are Taça de Liga, realistically, and then put up a good fight against Ajax because this team in its current state, thankfully, we're not playing Ajax next week, or else you could write us off now. I still think you can write us off, obviously, but you
still have time. You have time to do something.
You can have a respectful playoff with them, or eliminatoria, however you want to call it.
You can still have a pretty damn good fight. I'm trying to find a stupid clip.
I feel like we need an international break. I hate international breaks. I hate them so much because it's just I need Benfica every weekend. But I think that's what we need. It's
I can't wait for January 30th, Team Canada versus USA, a distraction where I can watch the sport. And with all the restrictions hitting Canada, all that's left is them from to steal my goddamn tickets and not let me go to the stadium.
Sorry, Mario. I was talking about football, not ice hockey.
No. They are doing it's the first time that they are actually kicking a ball in Canada in the snow, and it's exciting. So I don't know how the international break works, to be honest, because they actually have international. I know that supposedly the African tournament's having a huge crisis.
Yeah. Well, but
because they have players going to Africa while the leagues are playing. You got the North America, Alphonso Davies and a bunch of other big players are going away to play. But the international break for Europe and the Latin ones are doing in March. I don't know. It's a weird.
And the March, and you want to be happy for international break, Luis? Remind me what's happening in March.
No.
Break.
I don't want to be
Portugal,
happy.
Portugal playing in the playoffs.
A lot of Ving Tint for me.
It's just going to be, we're going to have to knock out Italy, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I saw that, Nelson. I don't know what the heck they're going to do with that. I saw Ford come out with that today where they only allow 1,000 people. Kill Sakana better pull that away in the next couple
Myers
weeks.
is going to be one of the 1,000. He's going to write a letter.
No, he's going to beat the whole 1,000,
Well, just
He'll be like, listen, man. If Benfica's killing me, just give me Canada today.
I'm gonna have a billboard outside saying I'm on suicide watch. Please pick me. Just like I need something to celebrate.
Team, I see a lot of people too talking about the Bayern stuff, right? Like our Ajax, really, a lot of people are bringing it up. I think
there's still some time. I don't want to dishearten it, but I want to have some false hope.
They just picked up another guy that used to be at Leipzig, I think, that Bobby, whatever his name is. So their team, they're not going to sell Haller, who's literally had one of the best starts ever to a Champions League, and they went undefeated. I think 3 clubs had done that before. right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they won all their games, not undefeated, obviously. But the whole point is, I don't think we have a chance. But you don't want to be the laughing stock and have them up 5-0 in the first half of the first leg.
No.
Like today, if you played Ajax, the chances of Porto missed that one at the end, Otavio missed. No one misses that on Ajax. And the thing that actually I'm going to bring it back to Benfica because I don't want to focus on these other guys. I want to focus on the problems at home, right? Is the fact that today.
Can I interrupt?
Mario, yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt because it's just a little lighthearted, funny story. But my dad was in the war, Angola. He also had one too many drinks back in the day because of the war. And so the missus brings up the hope is the last thing to die. It's a story from my old man. So one time, one too many. And he didn't talk much about the war unless he had one too many. And he goes, "Oh, Mario, Kashabil McCoy, you want to know something?" I'm like, "Yeah, little young Mario. Yeah, sure, Daddy. What's up?" And it's like, not that I talk, Scene Pike. What is it? He's like, "You want to know? Hope is the last thing to die." My dad doesn't talk philosophically very often. And I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. Why do you say that?" "Oh, because, when the guy gets shot right in the head, you still look at him flopped on the ground. You go, I hope he's going to pull through. But he got shot in the head. The guy's done." And I'm like, and he's like, "That's why hope's the last thing to die, because I still hoped." But no, he was gone. It's like Benfica. Benfica just got shot in the head.
They shoot
Hope is what kills you.
Yeah. Like basically, Pizzi just did one of these. Duh! It's like, I hope these guys can still win against Porto. And then, like, someone comes up to me after the match. They died this week, right? They died a while back. It's like, oh, fuck off. I still had hope. And it was just like I still got hope. And if those guys spank us 5-0, they'd be like, "What was wrong with you? Did you actually think this was going to happen?" I was like, I saw it.
That's why we were happy, quote unquote, when we drew Ajax instead of Real Madrid. Because like with Real Madrid, it was done, unless you're Luis, who kind of wanted that matchup. But for the most part, like,
this guy is a good player, man. I like him, man. As a defensive mid, a midfield player,
he's fun to watch.
He's a good player. He does amazing Team Canada. He's a good talent. We need depth. If we're not bringing back Florentino because we're idiots, that's what we do.
We're not. I don't want us to spend a penny. I don't want us to spend a penny for a variety of reasons. One, the coach isn't here to pick people, like someone mentioned in the chat. But two, it's the fact that we don't deserve it. You have the squad that you have now. I don't want to see them try to dig themselves out of a hole for this. Like, they didn't get shot; they shot themselves. Like, is what happened Benfica today. So, like,
pretty much.
But to me, the thing I was
we
going to
never
say,
had a dick or balls. That's our problem.
Yeah,
there was no dick or balls to shoot. There was nothing there.
Well, that's the thing. We got to grow a pair and see what we do in January. And I'm not talking about big signings. I'm talking about we got to – if none of these guys that have been locker room drama queens get some kind of punishment of some kind. And if this is Port, if this is Sporting, if this is Manchester United, if this is goddamn Atletico Madrid, you name your club, this would not be tolerated. And if there is a green pass come January or in the next few weeks – where the president of this club does not do anything about it, just acts like nothing happened, just like it happened with Lage and Rui Vitória, we're just setting up ourselves for kind of a vicious cycle of it repeating again, right? So, I don't know, man.
Honestly, low key, I don't hope anyone's career gets ruined, right? But I think that the best thing that would happen to this team is injuries in some like places, right? So if you see Pizzi get injured, it would be a blessing in disguise. Andre Almeida, blessing in disguise. Because I think the only way that you're going to end up seeing the youth kids play, which at this point, what do you have to gain in the season? Is the season's lost, right? So as long as you can, you're not going to just put the B team on. I'm not stupid or saying that at all, right? I'm just saying in a game like Marítimo where you're up 7-1 or 7-0 at the time, right? Or 6-0, whatever it was. Putting on Taarabt or Pizzi instead of bringing on Paulo Bernard is a shame, right? So, like, even if Taarabt is in good form, right, like, there are going to be times where you have to give those guys minutes. But at the end of the day, I want to see more guys from the B team on the bench. Meite, hey, thanks. We'll look for a place for you to sign for in the summer. Lazaro, we're not going to trigger your clause. Radonjic he's never healthy. So, yeah, I saw that on Twitter and I smiled for a second, but
the Boris's comment. I think this is why I would love to see some housekeeping and cleaning done in January, some message sending, some priming of the youth throughout the season, and us to spend the time to find the proper coach to kind of say we got a lot of tools here. So these young guys are killing it. Some of the issues that we had before at this club have been identified and dealt with. They've been nipped in the bud, and the other prima donnas have been put in their place because of it. And we need someone to come in and boss this thing around and take us somewhere, right? But it's just.
But I think the only way that happens, Mario.
That's the president. The president needs to do it. The president.
No, it's on. I don't. To be honest, I'm done with Rui Costa. And like, listen,
my thing is the injury thing that you're saying. It's not that I disagree. It's more of look at Almeida. He plays no matter what. We can't see Diogo on the field. Almeida gets injured. We get Diogo, and we're like, this is amazing. And all of a sudden, we get to work with Gilberto. Gilberto has potential. As soon as Almeida is healthy, it's like, well, we can't play Marat. We can't play anyone else. We got to play Almeida. Almeida's got to play. I hate the fact that these guys get to dictate the starting 11 unless Mother Nature comes in and pulls them out. Unless it's.
But that is on. That's partly. I mean, Rui Costa this isn't his first year at the club.
Oh no, he's been around for ages.
He's been president for 2 months. You know just as well as anyone how long
he's been not only that, he's been the sporting director. He was the guy overseeing.
Yeah, Vieira probably didn't even care about the team. Vieira's more concerned with partnerships and contracts and how he can line his pocket. In terms of the team stuff, I bet Rui Costa was always the one that was more involved there. Vieira's playing Candy Crush. He doesn't care about the games.
And this is where the people got to go and start harassing Rui Costa's family, harassing him, knocking on his door, and causing a fuss, man. You gotta.
I would advise against that stuff. I don't think it needs to go that far.
Not the family, but you know what I mean. Like, just they need to like put some serious goddamn pressure on Rui Costa.
I do not condone. I just like to.
I think white flags are enough at the stadium.
I do not condone any of the comments that Mario.
Do not co-sign.
Next thing you know, we're on BTV for the wrong fucking reasons, brother. Like, come on, man. These guys, they're the ones.
They'll get the ball to the head again, and they're gonna be going, "Ishgajaki, he did it."
Yeah, they'll be like,
Canadian.
Look where he lives. He lives in a freaking, container in the middle of Lisbon.
Be like, I can see the BTV headlines. Canadians. So sabing Valencia, and also it's gonna be like a clip of ice hockey in a fight. Well, a fight of hockey. That's all Canadians. Yeah, it's gonna be that.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. My God, but I personally, it is like the fans got to do something, man. I'm at a point where it is the richest club in the land, the greatest resources in the land
by far. Not
even close. It's just Rui Costa was a sporting director. He was overseeing it. Luis Vieira took the heat because he's a president, and the buck stops with him. Now the buck stops with Rui Costa, and he more than Luis Vieira, like you said, knows the product because he played. He knows the players. He's been around. If he sits on his hands and does nothing, it is more damning than Luis Vieira because, just like you said, Joe, the guy was more preoccupied with Candy Crush, and I also really felt the guy was more preoccupied with the business dealings, whether they're shady or not. But that was his MO. He didn't do the sport. He deferred it, and I criticized him for it. But now you got a guy that knows the sport, and if the guy who knows the sport does nothing, that's even more infuriating. That's kind of like I don't know how else to kind of.
It's frustrating, right? But the thing for me is like I'm trying to think of just what's going to happen, kind of the changes that can happen. Even today, I'm trying to justify because I thought that the loss was already gone a long time ago, right? Like I thought that this loss did not like manifest itself today during the game with changes at the beginning of the game with the lineup, right? Like you were played a pretty shitty hand to begin with the injury, losing Otamendi, losing Darwin, who I hope recovers quickly, obviously, because we've seen that Seth is a sip, and I don't trust Gonçalo, to be honest, with the ball at his feet. I think Gonçalo is a great finisher. He hasn't really showed it that much. But the thing is, I'm glad that Zach just brought up Sporting, right? Sporting, first of all, I'll shit bad, right? We don't need that at all. But when I'm talking about Sporting,
I do have to know what Joe is promoting here.
Yeah, you just brought up the fact that like we're the richest in the land, right? Take a step back. Look at the gold mine Sporting has in their hands right now.
Yeah.
Hot, Paulinha, they just got 40, 48 or whatever for Nuno Mendes. You keep going Mateus Nunes. You keep going the whole team. Pedro Porro, who they just bought from City somehow. Don't know how that happened, but like they have players that right now, if you take the value of every squad, their squad value is gonna almost triple ours. And we paid at least double, probably triple, right?
Yeah.
Than they did. Because you look at it, Lazaro, he's a guy that we didn't buy. It's just a loan. We're not going to want to buy him. No one would want to buy him. Mete, trash. Tarapt, Pizzi, Almeida, Vertonghen, Otamendi, All those guys old. No one's going to want to buy them. They're not worth anything, right? Or if they buy them, it'll be for pennies. So I'm happy to get through to Charisse of the match. But the thing is, this is on the precipice of Rui Costa for me. I think Verissimo, I want to see him have a couple games. I'll give him like an 8-game rush, right, to see what he can do with the 4-3-3, and then see who Rui Costa ends up picking at the end of the season. Seeing the players that he gets let go. But at the end of the summer, if this team isn't what it should be, right, and you see some bad results coming on, because let's be honest, we're going to have to do the same thing we did this summer and qualify two qualifying rounds to get into the Champions League group stage again. If we can't do that, Rui Costa is going to he's going to be another guy who we say, look, club legend, anyone that has his jersey is going to throw it in the trash. That's the thing with Vieira. You didn't have anything physical to throw away, except maybe your socio card, but that's not Vieira. His signature's on it, but it's the club. Rui Costa, I saw a Rui Costa jersey the other day on a site, and I was thinking of buying like a retro jersey. I'm not touching his name because I know that in a couple of months I'm going to get pissed and want to burn it or throw it away. But anyway.
All right.
Cut into pieces.
Yeah. All right, let's get the shitties going.
Auction it up.
You guys know the drill. She's the match, player of the match, play of the match. Let us kick it off to our guest, Greg, buddy. I know we've been ranting a lot.
It's very easy for me. Charisse of the match. I'm gonna give it to André Almeida, the original Charisse, man. That guy. Charisse.
The Charisse King.
The Charisse King. Everything that happened, I blame. It's his fault. Everything. You know, the fact that we lost, the fact that Christmas is almost over, the fact 2021 has been the way it is. Everything is his fault.
Omicron, all of it.
COVID is the entire thing. It's André Almeida's fault. The play of the match, it's the first goal for me for Porto. I think that changes the game there. There could be that or the red card, could be one or the other. But for me, it's definitely that first goal for Porto, especially because it's a handball. And my man of the match goes to Gabriel, scoring fucking screamers down in Abu Dhabi or whatever. Absolutely screaming that.
After we mock him, last show we mock him. I see this video circulating. This guy's back. He's like, I watched your show. I still got it.
I watched that. I was like, oh.
Did you guys see the play too? It was such vintage Gabriel where he's walking 3 seconds before he gets the ball at his feet and puts it in an absolute banger. It couldn't have been more perfect Gabriel.
Never enough, nothing. Just, all right, where am I going to place this?
He's tired like this, flips his hair over, and then gets the ball at his feet and knocks in a banger.
When am I going to ping it?
Lazy.
No one wants it? I'll never go. Bosh. There you go. But yeah, that's me done. That is,
Wait, I think Luis, this is probably the real shitties. Just to point out.
That is the best shitties this season. I like that. That is actually, we got to memorize that one for the off-pitch shitties. The Almeida variant. Oh God, it's like it's like COVID is Almeida, and he comes in different variants. He came under Italia, under Lage, under Jorge Jesus. You know what I mean? All right, Greg, you go, man. Let's try this again. You got this.
Yeah. So I mean, kind of just stepping away from Almeida. I think Pizzi for me. I mean, just typical. Tries to get the ball. Someone intercepts it from Porto, waving up his hands in the air, doesn't trek back. So I mean, I hear
Greg,
you, Joe. No words needed, Joe. I know. Yeah.
That infuriates me, and I know it infuriates you too. It's the Boston connection.
God.
I get so pissed. This guy. Listen, I try to think of just watching soccer in general, like football in general, right? There are 3 guys I think of when I think of throwing their hands up in the air. Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and Pizzi.
Yep.
Do they have anything in common?
They have the same color jerseys on. That's it.
That's it. You think putting Pizzi? I can actually. Pizzi is so ridiculous. You can put him in a category with those 2 guys, but only in that respect.
Yeah. Like, the only thing that Pizzi has over Fernandes is just that MVP season he had over him, but that's virtually it.
Yeah.
But kind of stepping away from that though, play of the game for me is that first goal. For Benfica, at least, kind of give us some momentum. Shortly lived after, because as soon as Almeida got that red card out, my frown just went completely.
Yep.
So, yeah. And for me, player of the game, Gilberto. just like it's like I said, he just brings on the fight. I mean, he may mess up on the other one, but I mean, at least he's going to come back, defend, hustle. So I mean, I've been happy with his performance this year, so I have to give it to him today too.
Yeah, SpaceX. Pizzi can go to Mars, man. I hear that takes a couple of years to go there and back, so it'd be a good journey for him. Fuck, man, it'd be amazing. Oh God, I would say for myself, the it's like how you go to the liquor store. So in Canada, we have liquor stores because we're not competent enough to buy liquor from other spots, right? And you buy a bottle, and they have the little free bottle attached to the other bottle. So it's like I don't want to buy that whiskey. They give me a little vodka for free that I don't want either, but maybe I'll buy it. Anyway, so that's what it is. Like Chorice is this like Pizzi, which is a big Chorice. But it's got like a special today with all these little Chorice all over it with everything else on it. It's insane. From Pizzi to all these other schmucks. My God, it's a friggin' train wreck. In terms of the play of the match to me, since you made it in the comments, Jan Vertonghen throwing up, it reflected my feeling about this club. It just absolutely the essence of what this team is. Like the guerre that's there, just all over the field. And then to me, the player of the match, as shit as Rafa can be, there's still these runs he was making that gave me some false hope. But that's it. Hope is the player of the match to give me this stupid ass confidence that things are going to happen.
I would say that for me, first of all, Boris, very clear point. I'm not sure if Richie Q is still in here, but that's what he was saying kind of too, right? But for me, I would go with Chorice of the match to Almeida. I want to give it to Odie really badly because at the end of the day, it was, that third goal that really dug us in, and it was 2 goals through his legs.
Yep.
But for a couple of reasons, like, listen, those are plays that happen. Unfortunately, he had a bad day. But honestly, I thought today with 11 on the field, I think we might have had a chance to score 2 or 3. So I can't even fault him and say that he was the sole reason we lost the game. Playing for Almeida got the red card in the 48th minute, right? Playing for half the game with one less man against Port, especially a team that when you have a man extra you can't score against, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Play starts with him being lazy and not being able to settle a simple ball at the beginning of the half, so he couldn't have been gassed. He just had a break, right? So there's no excuse there whatsoever. He had a captain's armband. His performances this season have kind of been culminating to this. He's a guy who was clearly had a hand in getting rid of the manager. The fact that he couldn't step up in a game like this, because let's face it, even before this, I did like that he was chippy. I love that João Mari was chippy. I love that, they did have the chip on their shoulder for the most part today, right? It wasn't just Gilbert, but he was trash. He made stupid fouls at stupid times, and at the end of the day, who suffered? The team. And the way he came off, he didn't have I thought he said something, it said the word "mister" after, like telling him to go take a walk back to his mother's house or something like that, right? And I was like, this guy, just his whole comportment there, I just hated it. I hated it. So that, for many reasons, he's my Chorice.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Player of the match for me, I will give it to Weigl because I thought Weigl throughout the match was just so smart. Even the play that ended up leading to the goal, Gonçalo goes up, which is my play of the match. I'll just go right into that. Ball goes up in the air. Gonçalo jumps, gets hurt, but the ball falls to Pizzi's feet. Pizzi plays through Rafa, and then Rafa obviously puts it through to Chuck. But that play starts with Weigl looking forward, which he's been doing all season, obviously, but he did it this game. You looked almost every time Weigl got the ball, he was able to get it to the right person. Defensively, he had a couple stops too. He was putting himself in the right position. So he helped a lot because we only played with 2 people in the midfield. And obviously, we know João Mari defensively is a big help. But today, you couldn't tell as much. So big props to Weigl, and obviously great pass from Rafa and good finish from Chuck. Chuck, I mean, you needed to finish that. If you didn't finish that, people would have been calling for his head like Seth.
I honestly, like, kidding aside, that to me, that play right there, when it happened, I felt like it could happen. I felt like it could come back.
That's the problem.
Oh my God, this team has such a way of suckering you back in so easily. But
do you know what it is? That happened in the 47th. A minute later, your captain gets sent off.
Struggle tooth.
It's you know what I mean? It's like because that even at that moment, I almost want to say that for me, the play that put the nail in the coffin was the last goal, the Taremi goal, which was partly Gilbert's fault for coming out, partly Weigl for not tracking back, partly Muratu, definitely Odie for letting it go through his legs, right? Like a lot of people there at fault for that last goal. It's a team goal, but until that moment, you still had chances. That was the one where you had the chance to make it 2-2 when Rafa had the 2-on-1. He sends through Gonçalo Ramos. And Gonçalo too, he's such a – I want to give the kid a chance, and I do believe there's potential, but he's had a couple of borderline Charisse performances. And these Port guys like Vitinha's chance that he scored for the second goal in the Taça game was unreal, infinitely harder than what Gonçalo did today. And yeah, Zaidu was there, but he should have put that through the roof of the net.
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah, for sure.
So for Natal, Marida, my wife got me something.
Yeah, Marida.
She said that she thought it'd be a good idea for BA90. I thought it was a terrible idea, but I guess since we're in the suffrage mood, so I don't know if you guys watched the Hot Ones. So for Christmas, she got me the Hot Ones. It's the spicy food.
Oh yeah,
nice.
With the spices. She got the whole thing. It's the whole like 10 various wings, all the fun
Go
stuff.
on then.
Oh, it's like a Nando's box.
It's like a Nando's box.
Okay, give me odds. Yeah, are you
There
doing
we
one?
go.
Yeah.
There we go. There's that. There's
Mario,
that.
you should have to do a shot every time we lose.
So I don't know if I'm gonna do a shot, but what she came up as an idea, and I was kind of saying no to it, but given the suffrage mood, I'm gonna probably change my mind. But I'll let you guys in the chat and the people can decide. We'll do a Hot Ones Benfica edition. I'll see if I get an amigo or a friend to do it with me. And we'll you guys can submit some questions and we'll answer questions of some kind, whoever's involved in this. Well, myself plus whoever else there. And we'll consume this stuff one by one.
I'm busy that day, Mario. I'd love to.
And I will and just
sorry, man.
yeah.
And just for reference, like
UK.
yeah.
Damn it, man.
The last one, this Apollo one, is over 2 million Scoville in heat.
Okay, have you opened any of them?
No, I'm gonna leave it for this event.
Okay.
I'll leave it for the event where
They should have snuck that into every player's bottle at halftime to give him
Yeah.
some type of fire coming out.
Hey,
Little
boy.
kicking.
Yeah, get them pissed at someone, even if it's the ball boys, which Port never has. It's just incredible how it's like, oh, ball boys. Yep, we just don't have those. We don't do.
No,
those.
you didn't see them today? They were holding on the ball every time we were asking for it.
except for that one play where it was Porto and they toss it
Yeah,
so quickly.
Just like that kid from Tottenham a few seasons ago. That lets
Yeah,
it
and that happened with Benfica too. Do you guys remember that?
What was
That
this?
was at the 2019 season because it was a game I was at. I was still there at the time, and someone Laj after went over to the kid, and it was he didn't like do the whole thing where he brought him to the players' lunch and stuff. But we scored a goal like that. I'll try to go back and find it.
Yeah, he
And,
did
like,
his job.
the beginning of the 2019 season, I think. I'll look for it.
I want to say, Boris, likewise for all the nonsense over the last several years. It's pretty much, we're the bugaboo because we started doing this through Italia. We got to enjoy the Lodge victory. But for all the negative things that happen, it's talking with everyone, having these chats, having these funds, haven't done a Benfica worldwide in a very long time, but interviewing various Benfiquistas globally, running different specials. For these lulls and when things are going well, it's nice. Because we love the club, man. The hope's always there that we're going to do it, right? But this Hot Ones one, I'll see. I'll try to convince a local up in my part to join me or something. And maybe we'll do that. It'll be kind of fun. I'm just warning now. I sweat profusely with hot sauce and like normal hot sauce, let alone Esha Koisa, man. I'm gonna be like buckets. But yeah, this right here, this challenge seems more exciting than watching Benfica right now.
We're gonna need to do something to liven up the second half of the season because it's only so many times you can say we suck again.
That's all I'm gonna do is eat hot sauce. That's pretty much how we're gonna keep the people entertained. Is like, okay, Mario or shit, grab the spicy one,
We'll have to make it like for every hat trick we concede or something like that.
Okay.
That'll probably happen more often than we think. But
Oh, man,
we actually have a suggestion in the chat.
Okay, what's this? We need Cynthia. Yeah, she's here. She's here. I might call. I know Jeff lives in town. I'll call Jeff up and see if I can talk him into this because he's been on the show before. We'll get that set up. We'll
You know what I was thinking of today, Mario? Was Dave. Dave must be ecstatic. Seriously, Braga, we're talking about everything, right? We got to watch out for Braga, man.
They're waking up lately. Lately, they've been waking up.
we pulled one over on them, right? But like, I'm gonna look it up right now. They obviously scored the 6-0 today, but I don't know how many points were ahead of them. And then obviously we don't have any like.
Hey, Miguel, real quick. Sorry to interrupt because I see Miguel's worldwide comment. I'm gonna put the official email for Benfica after 90.
Yeah, put it as a banner.
And I'll put it as a banner. Yeah, sure. Drop us a line. I don't check this email too often. Or the thing I check is Twitter. DM me on Twitter. You guarantee you get a response. Email's probably the worst. But regardless, I love doing these worldwide. If you guys haven't seen these, it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I'll put it as a banner. Where's the banner? Create banner. Boom. That's not it. What is this? This is the StreamYard link. Oh, if you want to join the chat, you can, I guess. But we're wrapping up anyways. Copy. I can't do anything. There we go. Banner. Boom. But yeah, man, it's I had fun doing those, man. I got to talk to a lot of people. We talked to a guy from Nepal once. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
No, that's cool.
That was very cool. It was very random. I loved it. So anyways. Well, lots of stuff like that, but go on. Yeah.
I'm curious just to hear from you guys before we do wrap it up, and just people in the chat too. Like Zach's gonna drown his sorrows over there in SOG, which to each their own, right? Where it's eventually gonna come to that. We're gonna get more bottles of wine, right, Mario?
No, my drink. I can't do that no more. I can't publicly humiliate myself with wine again, so I'm going to do it via hot sauce and humiliate myself again publicly.
Doing this show is the humiliation enough with the way that Benfica treats us.
No
it's like the ex that blocked your number 15 times, and you're like making YouTube channels just to get her attention. That's like
yeah. You did that as well.
Yeah. Same girl too, Luis. But no, like one of the things for me, I'm curious.
Emotional damage. You guys seen that guy on TikTok?
No.
Oh man, it's jokes. Just like a Chinese guy that has a weird accent and everything. Well, no. He has a Chinese accent, and then like anything that is like potentially damaging towards anyone, he goes. Emotional damage right in the end. It's so funny, dude. Like I scroll and endlessly on this shit. Dude. Emotional damage. I
gotta look this up. We gotta see this. Anyway,
one of the things I wanted to ask you guys was, I guess Greg, you can kind of start first. Is what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season? You can't say obviously we love when Benfica plays every time, but similar to last year, it was like. You do start. The whole point is you want to see Benfica win competitions, right? Like we all love watching them play in the summer when the games mean nothing, but those games are better in person. And yeah, I'm just curious what you're looking forward to for the second half of the season.
Good question. Well, I mean, obviously,
please say Almeida. Almeida blossoming. Almeida finally coming onto this scene.
Oh man, maybe he can join us with the show with all the free time he's about to have.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so sick. And now we're gonna do the chorizo of the match. Almeida, you wanna do that one?
I got the level of respect I'd have for go through the roof if he's willing to come on and be do like a little like, how much does he want? You want $20, $50 just to say, "Agora vai ser o tempo do chouriço," and he just does a little like recorded thing that we use every time.
I'll be shocked if he doesn't have a cameo.
Well, tell him it's a surprise reunion between him and JJ.
Huh?
We'll tell Almeida that JJ is going to be on, but it's a surprise reunion.
Oh, imagine. Where's JJ? Oh, yeah, mate. Nah.
Anyways, go answer the question, buddy. Answer the question. Sorry.
Yeah. So, toss to the Liga if we can make it to the final. I mean, at least after this game, kind of gives you some hope that we can face off against Sporting. Other than that, pray that we can get second spot just to get that automatic qualification spot. Third, we'll do as well. We just need to get the finances in. Come the summertime and into next season. Ajax just try not to get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm not as hopeful as you guys are.
What about you, Luis?
What I'm looking forward in the second run?
Yeah.
Definitely the hot ones with Mario. Definitely looking forward to that. In terms of Benfica, I'm hoping that somehow, somewhere. Well, hope, right? We just start selling. We just start cleaning house because, like you said before, and pretty much everyone said it. If Rui Costa doesn't do anything, then get him out. Like simple as that. Like I don't want oh, but he's this, he's that. I don't care, man. Like, you know, you just leave. You know, take time off. You've done, you know, you're a legend anyway. Like, you know, you're the guy that came back from, you know, came back to Benfica and stuff. And, you know, he's a legend. It was with us. He did what he could do, I guess. Just leave now. Just, you know, have elections or whatever and just say, look, guys, I'm not even going to run. Like, I don't have the, you know, the capacity to be a president. So I don't want to run for it. And then, you know, the next guy that comes in hopefully can, at the very minimum, just change something. Just bring that Benfiquismo back, man. Just bring that Benfiquismo back.
The Mística. It's not there.
Luis, who do you think could even be a suited president? Like, who do you like?
From Benfica?
Yeah, for like past elections. Like, was there like ever one that like stood up to you and was like, this is the guy that's really going to change it?
The Hamburglar.
I think it's not even that strong. I think Noronha could. Bernardo Silva would be fucking insane.
Player, president, manager, all three titles in one.
Player, president, manager. You know, freaking public relations and all sorts. You know, fucking bing bong. Sorry.
Maybe Joe Byron.
The one I'll be honest with you, like the one I've sort of voted for was Noronha, right? I'm not saying he's the answer for it, but at that time I felt like it was the right decision to go for. Right now, I'm not entirely sure. Like, honestly, I think I'd be that guy that is there at the elections, seeing what people have to offer, actually listening to what they say. Obviously, we had somebody on our channel as well running for it, and the Mario Melo had the opportunity to speak to. So, you know, I think I'll do a lot more listening this time and actually making a decision at the end instead of going in with my head sort of like already made up.
I think one of the things, Mario, sorry to you would say too. I saw this brought up the other day, and it's so true, and I think it's just blatant disrespect for the fans, right? Because one thing is the product on the field. But unfortunately, Rui Costa can't directly impact that. That comes down to the manager and the players who, yeah, he puts them there, but, you know, he doesn't play the games like they like to say. But the fact that we haven't been presented for years now with like a sporting plan, like a plan just for the team, like a style.
What's the objective? What is
the culture? Like, we're going to inject, like, I want to, even if it's bullshit, just tell me, make me dream. Like you said, hope's the last thing to die. Right? Tell me, listen, we're going to bring the Benfica back to Benfica. We're going to start building it up from the bottom. We're going to start blah, blah, blah. We're going to bring in this coach. We're going to blah, blah, blah. So the thing is, the Pizzi stuff does make me laugh a lot, actually. Because, I mean, Pizzi's definitely going to – I mean, these guys, right? Pizzi, Almeida, they're definitely going to leave a negative mark on the club for any coach that's going to come in right now. So, like, if anything, I think you're sold to it because we want to talk about a good coach, right? We want to dream about these Leverkusens who, good shout, Boris. I did like that shout. Gallardo's from River Plate, who Luis loves. Any old people, Mourinho, right? Like the Benfica podcast guys we're talking about. None of those guys will look at what happened and be like, oh, 3 managers in roughly 3 years. The guys that still did it, all 5 are still there. Or 4, right? Jardel, but like they're going to say no. So you're going to be looked at as a laughing stock. Aside from the fact that, you know, there is no sport plan. There's no plan for the club, for the team, I should say, right? At any level, and it's just it's so sad because hopefully Verissimo. I'm really just banking my hopes just to get into my hopes is seeing what Verissimo can do with a 4-3-3 and seeing which young kids jump onto the scene. I hope Gonçalo can, you know. I don't know what's going to happen at midnight tomorrow, but maybe he'll snap out of whatever the funk he's in right now. Maybe we'll see Embalo. I would love to see Embalo or Ronaldo Camara. I'd love to see
all of them, man. Like, just bring them all. Yeah. Fuck this team, man. Like...
Yeah, but no, seriously. Like, if you're not gonna, one of the things that that would make me livid, if you're not gonna re-sign or you're not gonna try to trigger the clause for Valentino Lazaro or for Nemanja Radonic, right? Don't play them. Sorry, guys, but thanks. Maite, he's a guy in the midfield. Midfield isn't as strong in the youth, but like these wingers and stuff, man, Diogo Gonçalves, unless it's to get someone to buy him, like at this point, I think you're going to have to do a loan with a buy, with an option to buy, because that's the only way he's going to show value. He's not showing it in the team. Yeah. I say every time you mention Andre Almeida, Pizzi, Rafa, the only reason you don't mention Diogo Gonçalves is he took a little break on loan, and then he doesn't play as much. And he was never, a good enough player to be considered one of them. The other guys at least did something for Benfica. The closest thing he's done for doing something was the goal against Arsenal. So it's, to me, man, I want to see some guys that I'm not expecting. Everyone expects, and honestly, it's an absolute shame if you don't see Morat, Tomás Araújo, Paulo Bernard, or Gonçalo play, right? Like those four, they need to play. But aside from that, I want to see maybe a Felipe Cruz or a Sandro Cruz or, some of the guys like Henrique Araújo, who's tied for top scorer in the second division for the B team. I want to see Embolo, who's absolutely jacked out of his mind, right? Like I want to see guys that are physically ready. So we're not just going to bring him on and make him be like, oh, well, I guess I'll never be a professional because I sucked the 5 minutes I got, right? I want to see some guys get legitimate chances, but I think that all stems from Verissimo playing in a 4-3-3, which I know we're all excited for.
Yeah, I would echo everything you said, Joe, so I'm not going to repeat it. So then I'll just leave on a fun note. When Benfica shits the bed, one thing you're guaranteed is sales. And what do the fans like? They like the Loja de Benfica. And what do the fans want to do right now? They're angry. So Benfica today, if you want. If you're an angry fan, you can get Angry Birds discount merch right now at the Loja de Benfica. It's officially on sale, 50% off, man. You guys go get your discount because Benfica, they got the pulse of the fans. They know what you want. You're pissed off.
Looks like a younger Vieta.
Yeah, you want these birds? You got a bala, a little, whatever this bag is, a bib. You drooling a lot lately because you're watching too much of this team. You got the child onesies, man. Look at these deals.
That is literally something one of those like you get, like that's like something like you would find like the Feshless that were just like not even like copyrighted.
Yeah. This is forget Hello Kitty merch. We had that. That was when we were doing when we won the Tetra, it was like Hello Tetra, Hello Kitty. It all matched up. Now Benfica fans are angry, man. So you buy the Angry Bird merch and you go get it, man. 50% off.
Jesus.
That's what you got to go get and do. So outside of that, Happy New Year, everyone. This is the last one for the year. 2021 has been an amazing year because of everyone obviously involved here. Forget the Benfica stuff on the pitch. Leash off the pitch. You know what? You guys have been amazing. Lucio Vieira foi para rua. I had a lot of Schadenfreude. I really enjoyed that in a very selfish way. Chaparigas, a quick shout out to them. They won. Good for those girls. Can't forget what they did. That was a nice little bright spot at the club.
Champions League too.
Champions League. We'll see Ajax. What those Dutch boys with their wooden shoes and their cloppity clops. You never know. We might get the best of them, right? So
I'm not kidding. I'm like excited to watch the next volleyball game so I can actually see Benfica win because couldn't do it yesterday against Sporting. Can't do it today. The B team's been dropping points left and right. It's pretty like Senor Marcel.
Good times, guys. Good times. Fucking hell.
He never lets us down. Yeah, that's end the year on a happy note. Man, this team.
COVID's still about. Benfica still sucks.
The only plus side of COVID is that eventually fans will just be like, it's not worth the test to go to the stadium.
Yeah, windmills, Heinekens.
Oh damn, we're in a pickle here.
Yeah, hookers. They got the red light district. A buddy of mine once went to Amsterdam, and he had one too many coisas that he consumed, so he wasn't in the right head. And he learned there's a purple light district. It's Chaparigas that tem coisas. He was telling me this story. He was out of his mind, and I guess they have him in the windows in Amsterdam. And he sees a rapariga, and she starts doing a dança, and ele tá olhando. It's like, oh, okay, olha. Also, ela abre as pernas, he said he had a conniption. He didn't know what the heck was going on. Oh my, exactly, man. And he lost his mind. But yeah, that's the one story from a friend of mine that went to Amsterdam. Sounded like he had a good time. And hopefully the Almeida goes out there.
That's the best. That's the best part actually of 2022. So I know we mentioned it before, Zach, but thanks for reminding me. So Passo de Ferreira, no Almeida, beautiful sight. I cannot wait. I'm gonna be just itching for that starting 11 to come out. Twitter's gonna go insane. They're gonna be so happy because people will forget. They'll see he's not even in the convocados and they'll go crazy.
Oh my god! Tudo saltar. That's so bad.
Honestly, I still hope Sporting. If Benfica can't win and Sporting and Porto have to win, give it to Sporting. They at least deserve it.
Just because you're in the chat.
I couldn't care less, mate. They're all a bunch of sissies
Yeah.
anyway. The thing is, like,
Sporting at least
yeah,
plays
yeah.
well. Like you see Otavio today. I know
Yeah.
we're gonna like Otavio and the new Pepe or whatever the hell his name is, Pepe
Yeah.
Le Pew
yeah,
from Brazil.
Right
Listen,
back.
that guy, he's Otavio in waiting, bro. Every time the guys get
Yeah.
It was
touched,
funny, mate. Otavio is funny because like he's not good enough for Brazil, so then he goes, "I'll be Portuguese." Still not good enough, mate. Like you're good enough for Porto, and that's really it. You see that? You see how he's fucked that ball up? That's literally Otavio in a sticker. You know, like I would love to have that. The three seconds. It's like you're not good enough. You're playing for Porto, and that's it.
I know a Portista that's connected with the Dragões. Luis just talked to him before. He is a very annoying individual, but I've known him for many, many years and met his family. He's actually a nice guy in person, but very annoying to deal with. But anyways, I've always joked with him because he does a show. He does a show with a few other guys with a Sporting Benfica, but I always bust his chops why there's no Porto shows. Like his Sporting's got one. I'm actually really shocked Porto doesn't have a dedicated English show. It's always surprised me, man. But
they spend all their time intimidating the refs.
Only there for when they win, and this is not a dig at what's his name?
Richie.
But I'm not.
I think
digging
it's Ricardo Quaresma. Actually, it's Richie Q. So maybe him.
Richie, that's not a dig at you. I actually have two friends that when Benfica was winning everything, I never really teased them. I just asked, "Hey guys, what do you think of Porto?" And they go, "Oh no, I stopped watching.
Yeah, I have friends
stopped
Sporting
watching,
after Alcochete, even after just everything. They're like, "Oh, I don't watch anymore." And then who's now?
And then like I remember like I can't remember. I don't know. It was like a year after he messaged me saying, "Hey, so what happened to Benfica?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" So you stopped watching Porto, but all of a sudden he beat us in one game, and now it's like, "What happened to Benfica?" You know. So I still talk to them, but you know, I still talk to one more than the other because one actually owes me £69, so 69 euros. So I have to keep in touch with them.
Just a right away.
That's actually hilarious.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna invite them out to dinner, and then when the bill comes, it's like, "Oh, my half is £69. Well, you got this, right? You owe me anyways."
Oh,
Peace.
Yeah, not in Porto though.
Yeah, not important. It'll have to be someone where you know it's
That's £69 in port. That's a lot of Francis English, man. Oh, I don't know if I could eat that many in one sitting. Like, God, eating one is tough enough.
With Zach, it's £69 because it was a curler for his girlfriend. He couldn't afford it at the time, and it was a birthday, so he asked me to buy it for her.
Oh, yes, gosh.
Because he spent all his money
guy.
paying rent.
Have you bought this girl a curler yet, or no?
No, it's been bought, and she's got it. Let's move on.
Anyway, look at the show. It's got, she's about to commit some murder there. Big Mom. So nice knowing you, Luis. All right, you guys have a great night, man. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Carrega Benfica. Hope is the last thing to die. Even if they shot themselves in the head, they can still pull it through.
Happy birthday, Jesus. See what this team's done to me. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Hey. Oh shit, Happy New Year. Where is it? Tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow. We're not. It's you thought you missed the New Year?
All of a sudden, I'm like, why the fuck is there fireworks? Shut up.
No, that's the missus hitting you over the head and the lights hitting everywhere right now. It's gonna. Anyways, pray for Luis. You guys have a great. Look at this. Look, he goes for smiling. He looks. He gets serious. Like.
All right.
You're all right. Yeah, you won't be in a little bit.
From here. She's done. From here. Fucking show them. She's already done this, mate.
It's an angry. Yeah, that's. You know what makes me so sad is the players like Salvio and Bernardo Silva and players that have left the club are probably more upset than some of the players today for today's loss. I'm not putting it out. Don't get me wrong. Weigl is definitely down in the dumps, right? Like Otamendi, Darwin, these guys are pissed. But I honestly don't think that Almeida or Pizzi, like at this point, they're like, oh, we lost the championship, whatever. We weren't going to win anyway. I wasn't going to get credit for winning it because I'm not a key player. They're so selfish, man. But happy note to end the year. Sorry, it's just
I will try. I'll try to goof off and make a happy video of some kind of celebration, or maybe I'll eat the Hot Ones wings this weekend. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna get some calls and maybe I'll record this thing. We'll figure this out.
Cool.
But
Happy New Year.
Peace.
Peace. Carrega Benfica.